Hey there, it's Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. Today, we are going to talk about having success in voiceover on the pay-to-play platforms. Yeah, I know it's a controversial topic. You've probably heard all kinds of crazy stuff out there on the internet. Well, here, let me talk to you from the perspective of having done this for professionally for 15 years. Almost all of that time I have spent on two of the largest pay-to-play platforms, Voices.com, Voice123, where I've made hundreds of thousands, if not more, dollars. I didn't take time to calculate it before this video this morning. A lot of money through these platforms over the past 15 years. So I've been there through the evolution. I understand a thing or two about them. Let me share with you what it takes, the 4 keys to succeed in pay-to-play sites. Okay, first of all, number 1, you must have great audio. That is not something you can take for granted. It's not something you can overlook. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If your audio is not pristine and of the highest quality, you're dead before you start. You have to remember, these are pretty competitive platforms. There are a lot of folks there. There's also a lot of great jobs there. And you've got to make sure that you match up in every way with the other talent. And by the way, I don't mean that doesn't mean you have to be better than everybody else. Better is it's a very subjective thing. It has to do with who's best for that job. But there are some things that you have to have in place. And number 1 among them is you have to have great audio. What does that mean? Well, don't jump to the conclusion that means you need to go out and buy an expensive microphone or all this great gear. As a matter of fact, gear is secondary. What is primary is the space in which you record. And I'm not going to go into we could do a whole video on just that, but let me just say this. It needs to be in a quiet environment, as quiet as you can make it. You need to find the quietest place in your home or apartment, wherever you work. But beyond that, it has to be treated very well acoustically. All right. Now, beyond that, you need to have an understanding of what you need to do with your audio in regards to equalization, in regards to compression, and possibly if you need more noise reduction, what that might look like and how that works. But you absolutely have to have great audio. Without it, you will get nowhere. Well, in voiceover in general, but specifically on pay-to-play sites like Voices.com and Voice123. Number 2, you have to have strong auditioning skills. As I mentioned before, these are competitive platforms. Over time, more and more people of higher and higher caliber are participating. Now, the good news is that these platforms bring in all types of work from the smaller market, lower pay, to major market, national type ads at a higher scale. So there's room for everybody on the platforms, but it is competitive. So you have to, you're most likely, especially if you're taking the route of auditioning for everything, that means that's how you win. That's how you feed your family, is you have to win those auditions. So having strong auditioning skills, it's very important. You can't take that for granted. And if you haven't yet, look into getting some coaching, and I'll give you some more information about that toward the end of this video. So great audio, strong auditioning skills. Number 3, you need to have a pro demo. Again, because of the nature of the platform, the competitive nature of the platform, your staging has to be good. Because remember, if people are going through and they're going to different profiles and they're listening to demos and they want to get a sense of what you're all about, this is how you stage yourself. Like you stage a house for sale. If you haven't watched HGTV in a while, check it out. You'll learn a lot about staging homes for sale. In voiceover, it's no different. You have to stage yourself, your voice, your performance for sale. That's what a voiceover demo does. So you need to have a pro demo or pro demos to stage yourself properly, because the demo will oftentimes earn you the right to audition. So oftentimes it's difficult to even get the audition unless you have the proper demos. So that's the 3rd thing. The 4th thing is you need to understand the platform. Let me share with you one of the most important things I could possibly share with you regarding pay-to-play sites. I would say, and this is off the top of my head, it's a ballpark guess, but my guess is it's pretty accurate. About 99% of everybody who signs up on a pay-to-play site, what they immediately begin to do, and the only thing they do, is they cattle call audition. Nothing wrong with that. Cattle call auditioning is where a client posts a job and it's open for anybody to, throw their hat in the ring and audition for it. I've done it. You've done it. thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of others have done it and will continue to do it, and that's fine and good. But let me tell you, that is the hard way to get work on a pay-to-play platform, as popular especially as Voices.com and Voice123. Even though there are lots of jobs, available, because again, the caliber continues to get better and better of the talent that are on these sites. So you need to understand how the platform works so that cattle call auditioning is not the only way that you get your work. Keep this in mind. Many clients hire talent not by casting a job, but by going and just looking for someone. So they'll go to the search function and they'll say, okay, female, middle-age, upbeat, friendly, authoritative, powerful, whatever, you name it, whatever the search, they'll enter the search terms and the keywords. And what they will do was, for the people that pop up in that search, they'll begin listening to their demos and decide, okay, either I want to give this person the job or I want to audition maybe these 5 people or these 10 people. They're called private auditions. That's the holy grail of pay-to-play sites. And if you're not doing that, it's because you don't understand how the platforms work. And you're doing things the hard way. Now, I'm not saying voiceover is easy. It's work. It's always work. But let me tell you, I've done this for a long time. And like I said, I've made a lot of money on these platforms. Getting work directly from clients is by far the best way to get work on pay-to-play platforms. And so that's something that you need to know, you need to understand. And again, if you don't have great audio, strong auditioning skills, pro demos, it's not going to happen. So look at your checklist. Do you have these in place? Do you have outstanding audio, pristine, clear, presence, competitive audio? Do you have strong auditioning skills? Can you hold your own? Do you have a professional demo or demos? And do you understand how these platforms work so that you can optimize your presence on them? If you don't, if you need help building your voiceover career, that is what I do. And I want to encourage you to go to canyoudovo.com. That is canyoudovo.com to learn more about my program, to see how I have helped hundreds and thousands of other students build strong, profitable businesses in voiceover. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. I do wish you great success in voiceover pay-to-play. If you haven't been successful, it's probably because you just simply didn't understand the 4 things that you need to make sure are lined up. Because once you align these 4 things, it can open up a whole new world to you. And that's what I want for you. Hey, thanks again for checking this out. I look forward to talking to you soon.